Well, here we are. I was just looking out the window. Can you see it? Points when lit, 1,000. It's a big bumper cap, but I'm on the other side of it because this is on the outside window over here at Randyland. So you kind of know where we are. We're up inside the actual living being of Randyland, and we're right here on the Main Street Randyland YouTube channel. Hooray! Another great episode. Well, you know, I just happen to have been walking around with my camera guy following me, and he's like, well, what is this? I mean, I look around, I see all kinds of stuff. I mean, I could talk about stuff and stuff. Where do you start? You start at the window. So you start at the window, and, you know, what's at the window? Pictures, paintings. Look at this. These are real oil paintings. Isn't that neat? Well, where did they come from? What do I have them for? Well, everything has a clue. There's the signal clue. You see it? The 200? The 200? This one's got a 200 on it. Well, these were in the basement at Lucky's Fascination when I purchased it. And how do I know that? Because that's how they labeled the ticket prices. They had a stamp set that, you know, they had the, you know, on ink, they had the 2 and then the O and the O, and they made these cards for the coupon amounts. Now in an arcade, that would have been like 200,000, but in Fascination, it was only 200. And they had these as prizes. So I'm guessing that over the years, as the frame got, you know, nicked up or whatever, you know, they were no longer saleable, and they ended up in the basement. And of course, I wasn't going to sell them either. So here they are. They made their way, you know, to my collection in Randyland. So who knows, maybe there's an art critic out there who actually recognizes that those are really some special Rembrandt oil paintings from 1620 and worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Now you're going to have all the people trying to say, Rembrandt, 1620, ha ha, he was way before that. I don't care. Who knows when Rembrandt was? But I mean, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, this is a little more my line. Choo Choo Baby, a Woody Woodpecker cartoon by Walter Lantz, Castle Films. Look at that. And this is a peep show. And here's the viewer. And you would look in, you'd put your coin in, slide coin, and you'd watch your video. The projection system, that's the film on that cartridge. You see that cartridge there? This is your typical peep show projection type system. It's a continuous loop film cartridge. Now that film would have to be restored. You see it's dirty, I mean it's dusty, and I'm sure it's brittle. I mean, I wouldn't want a chance running that film and ruin that film. You'd have to have it restored and new copies made so it would be succulent and vibrant. But in today's day and age with video, why would you go through having to replace projection bulbs and all these good things in order to run this film? But it's very important because you get to see the technologies of the way they operated it. See? You see the images here on the film? The film looks in pretty good condition, just dust. I'm sure that can be cleaned right off. The coins would go into this coin box, which would be mounted along there, and this door looks like it's been knocked off hinges because there's a hinge there. You put a dime in there. So for a dime, your little darling could go to the arcade, and for a dime, he could see a cartoon. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, for some reason, I'm not sure what it is, the little darlings didn't spend a lot of dimes watching the cartoons. Now, I have a theory on this, and the first theory is obvious. I'm over 6 feet tall. Look where the viewfinder is. Okay? So I can easily look into that viewfinder. If I were 5 feet tall, I'd be kind of stretching up to look at that viewfinder. So how are your little tykes, who are about this high, going to watch the film? Well, they'd have to have some kind of box or something, the old, milk crates that they would stand on. And even at that, it would be difficult. So that ought to be a clue to tell you the reality of what this machine really is. So this was not originally a kid machine. Obviously, because of the height of the viewfinder. So what was it? What was it? How did they make it a, well, what does this say here? Can you read that? Show. It's kind of, they washed it out somehow. So cartoon show? What's that? Is that a P? And then this is kind of scraped away. People show. That's what it was, a people show. No, it was a peep show, you degenerates. That's right, it was a peep show. They had dirty films in there. Maybe that really wasn't a Woody Woodpecker film. Do you think that really was a Woody Woodpecker film in there? I don't know. That's going to be a mystery. I don't think that's Woody Woodpecker at all. What could it be? Oh, Hollywood showgirls and movies. Look, 4 parts and in color. This is a more modern machine, whereas this one is a earlier one. Who made this thing? It's a Capitol. Look at that. Can you read that? The Capitol Projector Corporation. Now, do you remember me talking about the Capitol projectors once before? Do you remember I talked about the Capitol drive testers where you drove in the 1950s dashboard and the little old ladies would come across and it was a projection? That, my friends, is the Capitol projection system, because this is a Capitol projection game also. They use the same type of projector. That's what they made, Capitol projectors. So they made the drive testers, and they made dirty movie machines for you degenerates that would come down with your children to the boardwalk, and you'd go hiding in the corner to look in some Woody Woodpecker machine that the kid couldn't see through the top of, and you'd laugh at Woody Woodpecker. Maybe that's a play on words. Woody? Like he had a Woody in his pecker? The Woody Woodpecker? I don't know. There happen to be several. These are all peep shows going down the line. This, with the backs of them here, these are also peep shows. They're obviously just turned around on the back side of them. Oh, there's another one down there that says peep show on the top. Look at that. 4 features, each for 10 cents. Where would they have these things? I mean, was this like in some dark store in old 42nd Street that was, dirty, and you had all these, these scummy people that went in there, and watched these peep shows? No, they came from Seaside Heights. They came from the Carousel Arcade back in the day when I was a little Randy. And the place was owned by, it was Bob, and I think it was Bill, Bob, and Lou, the 3 owners of the Carousel Arcade. And in the back corner, it looked like an area of machines that were in disrepair, just kind of like standing around there. There was a corner where they had peep show machines that you had to kind of like slip in between the machines to go in the back where they had the peep shows. And they had the dirty movies in the carousel. And here's the sweet, innocent little children outside playing skee-ball with a row of 30 skee-ball machines. And just off to the side, there's Grandpa and Daddy with a cigar in there. They were allowed to smoke, and they're chewing on their cigar, and they're in there puffing away, looking at those dirty movies, and it would give you only a certain amount of time, and then the movie would stop, and you have to put more coins in it because you want to see what's next. What kind of next horrible thing are they going to do on this film? Well, what am I doing with them? Well, I was always collecting games and machines, and I bought a lot of machines from the Carousel Arcade. And at some point later on in the 70s, like the late 70s, they cracked down upon the peep show machines. Somebody must have made a complaint. Only one person made a complaint? But at some point, somebody made a complaint and it became an issue, so the peep shows were no longer going to be permitted in the arcade, and they had to get rid of them. And Guess who ended up buying Peep Show machines? Well, I was working there at the time fixing machines, so, rather than paying me, they'd say, take home a Peep Show. Take home I'd pull up the station wagon, dragging it out, shoving it in the back. That would have been late 70s, at best, early 80s. And to this day, I have never, ever tried to run one of those Peep Show machines and even see what's on the film. You can see that by the dirt on the film to see Woody's wooden pecker, or Woody Woodpecker. As a kid, did I ever go in the back and look at the dirty movies? Well, I did go back there because I wanted to see what was back there, and I saw that the machines were there. And I certainly had my dimes from playing skee-ball, but you know what? Try as I may, I couldn't see through that viewfinder. And I was like, trying on tippy toes on a box, I couldn't see shit. Thank God. And I'm using the word literally because I probably would have seen real shit. But no, I did not get to see the movies. How about that? Well, there you have it, friends. The story of dirty movies on the boardwalk in the family arcade, even back in the day. How about that? And we're going to leave it there for you to ponder and give that consideration over your next good evening's sleep. And you'll be waking up in the middle of the night and, suddenly sit up out of bed and realize that there were dirty movies and you didn't get to see them back in 1960 and 70 and probably the late 50s as well. So we'll leave it there at the Main Street Randyland YouTube channel. And now watch Google go live as they're trying to find all these dirty movies online. Bye-bye.